kind of started talking to people about it, and they're just like, whoa, like, but I think it's like a belief that I hold like really dearly, and maybe I'm starting to like realize it or like vocalize a little bit better. But in my opinion, like a shadow practice is like, okay, you have your big painting practice, capital P, capital A for art. You know, it's like you've got all the history behind it. You've got your studio and all of your materials and everything. But I think a shadow practice is just kind of encompasses everything that happens outside of the studio that I think is still like very creative.
Welcome to What's My Thesis. I'm Javier Proenza, and today my guest is Katie Hector. Katie, I met you, I didn't meet you, but I became aware of you through the Mario's Art World show at, or Mario, what's his last name?
I don't know Mario's last name. Not off the top of my head. I saw him last night.
I know it, I just forgot.
He's like an energy force. You know what I mean? Like he'll.
What show did you go to last night? I don't usually record on Saturdays.
You know what? I can't. I'm really bad. It got gravitationally like pulled there. It's actually in Lincoln Heights.
Is it the one?
It's like through.
I don't know.
Oh my God.
I don't know all the places in Lincoln Heights.
I know. Well, it was like at a house.
Oh, okay.
It was at a house, and it was curated with the person's collection.
Oh, all right.
And I think there are a number of friends involved in like organizing it. So like, although I can remember the flyer, I can't remember the name of it, but it was like a whole roster of amazing artists, and so it was a really cool vibe to get Art Week kicked off.
Oh, it's Art Week.
It's gonna be Art Week, but it's already Art Week.
Oh, when is Freeze? It's this week.
It's here.
It's here. Okay.
I think at like mid to like Tuesday or Wednesday or something is like when it opens. But
okay,
yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, in my defense, I am not paying attention.
You know what? I feel like it's one of those things. It just takes over the city, so it's like whether you want it or not, it's like bubbling up from the ground. So.
Well, cool. So are you originally from California? You're a painter? Mm-hmm. Okay. Where are you originally from?
I'm from New Jersey.
New Jersey?
So I grew up and went to school, undergrad in New Jersey.
What is there a good art program in Jersey that I'm blanking on that I don't know is in Jersey, but I assume is probably in New York?
You know what? It's in proximity to much greater art programs, but I think it's like a sleeper program. It's where I fit in the best, and I feel like I really accelerated. So it was part of Rutgers. Okay. But the school within Rutgers is called Mason Gross.
It's the art program, kind of like Rioski over here.
I guess so. Yeah. Like it's there's a visual art program, but luckily there's also dance and theater and music. They're not necessarily on the same campus. Okay. But I think like through that school you get exposure to all those different programs as well. So it feels a little bit interdisciplinary, which is really nice. You're not just like locked in.
But you still ended up a painter.
I think I always just naturally gravitate towards. Okay. I just shift into the category of painting by default.
Well, it's just interesting. It's interesting that for someone who is part of a tradition and a discipline that you're like, oh, well, I got to be cross-disciplinary.
Oh, I love it.
What were your favorite classes that you got to do in that multidisciplinary environment that you maybe don't show up necessarily in your practice, but
gosh. I mean, I just really love my time there because the facilities were just like amazing. Mm-hmm. Everything felt like big and open and fresh and new, and everything was just at our fingertips. So that's why I like gravitated towards it more than some of the more established programs that had like kind of older, dingier facilities and felt like a little bit more like competition between students and stuff like that. I was just like, nah, I don't want to deal with that. I just want exposure to everything. And then I could like bring that all into. Narrow it down. Yeah, totally.
But if there was an alternate reality, what other art would you make?
Oh man, I think this is actually going to be the topic of what we chat about a lot because I am very open-minded, and so I think I naturally just say like painting as like a broad thing. So there was never anything
like painting was never jealous of any other art form when it came to you.
No,
it was never like, oh, we might lose Katie.
No, well, you know what? The other practices that I have in my life, which is under the category of the shadow practice.
What's the shadow practice? What does that mean?
The shadow practice is a term that I've been just like kicking around for the last like couple months in my head.
Did you coin it?
I'm hoping I want to coin it, you know.
You assume you coined it because you haven't seen it anywhere else.
I haven't seen it, and I've kind of started talking to people about it, and they're just like, "Whoa!" Like, but I think it's like a belief that I hold like really dearly, and maybe I'm starting to like realize it or like vocalize a little bit better. But in my opinion, like a shadow practice is like, okay, you have your big painting practice, capital P, capital A for art. You know, it's like you've got all the history behind it. You've got your studio and all of your materials and everything. But I think a shadow practice is just kind of encompasses everything that happens outside of the studio that I think is still like very creative, and can still be like just as like obsessive and time consuming and like joyful and fulfilling, but maybe doesn't go into like an art historical kind of archetypal, like one of four practices, like drawing, painting, sculpture, you know, ceramics or something like that. So for me right now, shadow practice, and it kind of has been this way since I was an undergrad, has been quilting.
Okay. Yeah, I think I've seen some quilts.
Totally. Yeah. They're kind of...
that wasn't what was leading the question. I was just curious because you said the multidisciplinary part.
Totally.
And I just thought of you as a painter.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think I've always been really drawn towards... I've been drawn towards like learning how to do things like the right way, like to the textbook. And then as soon as I like have a comprehension of that, like I just want to like destroy it, or I want to like figure out a way to like push where the boundaries are.
So with quilting, putting the stuffing on the outside kind of thing?
Well, quilting is just such a weird, like it's also a rectangle, you know what I mean? Like it's kind of you're dealing with like a plane of some sort. But quilting just flies in the face of painting. In
what sense?
In terms of like the function and like how people are like encountering it, and like just the tactility of it is like you're supposed to touch it, you're supposed to wrap it around you, where painting is like it's sacrosanct to touch, you know. It's like you go into a museum,
I'm
like,
not as comfortable to put canvas around you.
Yeah, like you'll crack some gessoed surface or something that. So it's in my mind is like the opposite of painting and how it functions and like the day to day. But for me, like for some reason, like when I was in undergrad, I was just like, I want to start quilting. It didn't come from any family member or anything like that. But I taught myself how to quilt, and it's just always run like a parallel track this entire time. And it's something that I've gotten better and better at, and it's a shadow practice because it actually relies on the scraps of my painting practice.
In what sense? You're not using canvas, are you?
I am, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So like a lot of my paintings, if I consider them like a B painting or a C painting, or it's like maybe I've like painted myself into like a corner or just gotten it to a point where I can't really work on it anymore. I'll unstretch it, wash the canvas, and then I'll utilize that canvas for a lot of my quilting practice.
Okay.
And it's like a way of upcycling, and it's a way of like kind of regenerating and like not wasting material that I think is still like could serve a purpose or live a life. Yeah.
But so it does kind of live in that space of like it being a little bit like abrasive for a quilt. Or does it soften up?
It's not primed. It's not like super duper primed and work like that. So maybe it has like one or two coats on it at most.
Okay.
So it's still really
so you don't
flexible.
paint that thick?
No, it's all airbrush, so it's like really thin.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
So even if it has a couple layers of airbrush on it, it's not like you're getting big impasto strokes or anything like that.
Yeah.
And I think of them more like, okay, like you go and like have a picnic. You could use it as like a picnic blanket, or you go to the beach, you know, you just want to keep it in your car in case you have like an impromptu, like.
Do you use them that way, or do you?
Oh, they're all over my house.
Okay.
Yeah,
this is a practice that you can live with. This is like the more utilitarian side of your things.
1,000%. Yeah, okay. Totally. Yeah, it's pretty much. It's like I use them as like cushioning. I have like a lot of wooden benches, so I'll just put them on the benches as like a cushion, or I give them to friends and everything. Like I have a huge practice of just like, you know, like gifting. And again, it just like really sits on the opposite end of the spectrum of my painting practice. And for me, it just kind of like rounds out that circle of what it means to have like a creative life. It's not just in the studio. It's not just for a collector or a gallery or commercial, you know, purpose. It's like, there's so much more like life.
Well, it's interesting also because it gives you like, Do you ever like fuck up a painting because you're like, this would make a good quilt? I guess what the point that I'm making.
There's enough material. There's enough material as is, or I don't have to.
Well, what I'm saying is like, it's like the idea there might, like, even if you make a mistake, like, because my practice is very much like I draw in ink, so like, so I have to throw entire drawings out sometimes.
Totally, yeah.
If I like put a mark in the wrong place, kind of thing. So to me, that would be freeing to, like, one of the things that has freed me up is the idea, like, well, if I fuck this up, I can use this pattern to like try out different hatching styles. You know?
Totally, yeah.
Totally. Does that take a little bit of pressure, or do you never feel pressure to make a painting successful?
I really love. I think there are a lot of different people who like wax on this topic of like, I think when you introduce like failure into like a studio practice, or the concept of failure, you kind of already are like deadening the flow state. or it's just like, I really just try to think of like, when I'm in the studio, it's just play. It's just all play. And the other thing is like, I'm so stubborn that if I'm not having fun, I just won't do it. I'm not engaging with it at all. So it's just hard to even get me engaged if that level of excitement isn't, like, I'm just constantly chasing like that, like ecstatic, fast decision making, impulsive. And if something gets ruined, it's just on to the next one. And I really like being able to like purge and let go.
Yeah.
I think about John Baldessari and like him like incinerating all of his art all the time. Like, like I'm like, okay, I kind of want to do it. Like I'm ready to like, you know.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I just think it's, for me in life, it makes the most sense philosophicely to just not be so attached, and to make it more about the process as opposed to the final result.
Yeah. No, I vibe with that. For me, it's become a lot about concentration and not getting distracted, you know? So it's not necessarily about making a mistake. It's about like paying attention, which is like, I think a little bit in what you're talking about, that feeling of like, I'm excited to see how this thing will work, you know? But yeah, I mean, I think I'm just not attached to the labor. You know, and if I have to draw the same thing again, it's okay.
Yeah, totally.
You know,
yeah.
but mine is a very, very rigid and different practice. But it's interesting to think about that, like letting go part of the process. Like you just made me think like, wait, then how do I cope with it?
Yeah. I think everyone does it differently, but I think maybe going back to like a shadow practice is like is like if an artist like maybe has something that could like sustain off of like the scraps of their main practice or something like that, then it's like the failure isn't as the failure actually generates more raw material for that. The stakes are not as high. You get like it has another chance, or like there's another whole like world of possibilities that can like be opened up.
Did you do an MFA as well, or just the BFA?
You know what? I moved out here to do an MFA at CalArts, but it was kind of a crazy time, and it was in the middle of the pandemic.
So paying for that school.
So everything. I was up in Santa Clarita for like the first 2.5 years that I was here, and I did the first semester, and it was all on Zoom, and it just was not making like I loved it. It was great. Introduced me to a lot of different ideas, which was wonderful, but ultimately it wasn't that studio practice. And again, CalArts has more of like an interdisciplinary kind of like slant to it. So I was so excited to like be on
very
campus.
Conceptual too.
Totally. Yep.
Well, tell me, I guess I should start at the beginning. What were your like first memories? What are your first memories of being like, yo, I've been fucking with this for like ever, you know, like
with the art thing,
and never stopped, you know.
You know what? I was thinking about that last night. I just I think art has played such a central role, especially like early development and everything, to it feels like what's the best way to say it? I feel like I owe it everything. I've just it was a way for me to like process my world. It like kept me like mentally just like very safe and like involved in something that was like enriching.
So there was never like a moment where you kind of grew out of it. You just, since a kid, you just continued.
Yeah,
I've been
never really lucky in this way where it's just like I there was never a moment like I just remember friends like early, like first grade, second grade or whatever, and they're like, oh, Katie is always like the one like drawing in class. Like I was paying attention with one ear, and then like with my entire body and soul, I was just like sketching. And,
what were you drawing?
Everything. I was
like
just
cartoons from life. Like...
I think I was really drawn to from life. Like I was really lucky to have grandparents that like brought me to museums and things like that, and that was just like a common outing. And so I think I was being like fed books on like Andrew Wyeth and like Van Gogh and like, you know, these kind of like, I don't know, like old masters, but then upwards of that. So I had this like art history kind of education before I took a formal class per se. And so, yeah, just a lot of like kind of academy old master kind of stuff. And so I was like, okay, if I want to be like Leonardo da Vinci, like I'm just got to draw all my classmates and like do portraits and like, you know, I was just completely obsessed with making. Yeah.
So it was never you. At what point did you start calling yourself an artist? Because I find some people
other people did before, and
then you just took it on.
Before I did, I remember. I think like I also like have like a quasi like entrepreneurial slant as well as like I remember being at like a swimming summer camp or something like that and like making little drawings for like $1.
Okay.
Or something, or like being on the playground and making little like still life drawings.
That's what I was gonna ask you.
Like I had like a little like blanket with like little paintings on it and stuff like that. So like even without, I guess I had known enough about the world to like mirror it in that way. But like, yeah, I think I've just always been. Yeah. I've been lucky in this way.
So you never had a difficult time tackling, like, you know, a kind of. I found that it was like too big of a title to kind of, or like presumptuous of me to take on. But it seems like people just identified you like that, so it was easier.
I got pegged like pretty early. They're just like, oh, she's a creative one. Just let her. And I've had a lot of people. It like boggles my mind every time. But people want to support that. Yeah. You know, at this point, it's like it feels like a beacon to some people of like, oh wow, this person's like living this creative life, like we want her to keep going. Or, you know, even if they live a more traditional route and have like a more traditional job and stuff like that, there's like to be the artist in the family, there's like a lot of encouragement of just like, yeah, totally,
that's
they're
pretty
like,
cool.
She's doing the thing, and I'm just like, I don't know what I'm doing, but if they like it, cool. Yeah. So
well, all right, let's talk a little bit about like the actual work and the practice itself. So you're doing airbrush paintings. Tell me about what is the thinking behind it, what it is that your motifs that you're interested, concepts that you play with.
Cool. Yeah. I think somewhere in that pandemic zone, maybe like late 2020, 2021. And when I moved to California and when I was in the Cal Arts program, I think my main objective was just to, again, just like open up my practice and experiment as much as possible. And so
was it always airbrush?
No. I think I used spray paint and stuff when I was in New York. And so I think that, and I always loved it. So
were you ever like a tagger or anything like that?
No. And like,
you just liked it as a tool.
Yeah, it's weird because that world sits alongside, like pretty close. But no, I've never like gone out and like done that. I'm open to it, but like, you know,
you might be aging out of it.
I don't, I just don't want to get arrested.
Yeah. You know? When you're a kid, there's a lot more leeway.
I have like a full understanding of, you know, consequences. But yeah, I was using spray paint, but when I moved, to California, I just bought a bunch of stuff to keep in the studio. So I bought like resin and I bought like concrete and I bought like an airbrush gun and like dye and I just had all this stuff around me and like rhinestones. So I was just like making a lot of mistakes, you know, but I thought that was the perfect time and place to do all that stuff. And then, yeah, somehow the airbrush like totally captivated me. It's an incredibly frustrating tool to work with, especially as a painter who's like used to brushes and things like that.
So you did use brushes at one point. It wasn't always spray paint.
Yeah, I was working abstractly for like a good like 10 years.
What changed?
I think it was just the pandemic of it all.
You missed people.
Yeah, literally I started peopling my studio with like faces and portraits of like, I think there's a direct correlation between like the death counts that were like being like announced on the news every day of like 20,000, 30,000, like, you know, just like, oh, these like, and especially I moved right from New York. It was like, okay, they're like having these like mass facilities like in Central Park to like house like morgues, these like pop-up morgues and stuff like that. And it was just utterly mind-blowing. And yeah, I think moving from like a densely populated area like Manhattan, where you're just seeing so many faces every day, and I just absolutely love that, to being like kind of isolated up in Santa Clarita and like just being bombarded with all this data. I think, and everyone was masked as well. Yeah, I think there's definitely a longing. There's something about portraiture that like I'm really fascinated with, about like the preserving somebody's likeness, because obviously like it's a painting, it's not them, and so it gets into all these like conceptual gray area of like, what is a portrait really? It's, you know, whoever's painting it and whatever they see, and so yeah, I picked it back up. I painted a lot of portraits and figuration in high school, put it down for like 10 years, and then it just came right back. So
like you had never left it? Did you have any issues with proportions and stuff? Because I've been figure drawing recently and I am off.
Yeah, totally. Well,
I'm rusty.
You know what? I probably am too, admittedly, is like I really I long to get my draftsmanship
back. Yeah.
Always like, you know, just keep it like at like peak tier. But yeah, to lay out the work, I end up just using a projector.
Oh, okay.
I'm not trying to, that's the other thing, like I was saying about like being engaged with the work, is like, I'm not trying to like fight.
Yeah, but the old masters did that shit with the camera obscura. So
that's
whatever.
True. Yeah,
it's
totally.
Not,
yeah, I just like, it's just.
Have you seen, there's like, I forget what it is. There's like a set of glasses that have mirrors in them. Oh, okay. So you can like project what you're seeing onto the paper and then just trace it. Have you ever heard of that?
Oh no, but I can.
You can visualize it.
I can definitely visualize that.
I forget what it's called. It's really cool. When I saw that, I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, I'm sure there's going to be like some other type of wearable that's going to come out in the next 2 days. Like,
oh no, but this is like
this is old. This is mirrors. This
is like no, it's not Tech Bro behind it, or
totally. Yeah,
Tech Bro. At the time.
Yeah, there's no Palantir involved. Yeah.
No, thank God. Oh my God. Yeah, we're just having a conversation, pretending we're not in the midst of like the craziest Epstein files dump.
Oh my God.
When you were talking about COVID, I'm like, it's a little bit like COVID.
yeah. It's so hype. Like the world is the American world right now, because other parts of the world are not like this. I mean, there are levels of corruption everywhere, and I don't think like everyone is, there's smooth sailing. But I think in other places, like maybe Europe, like
they're prosecuting people.
This already happened like several different times. You know, they've had several rounds of this, and so like the apathy is like, oh, whatever. Like, you know, these stupid Americans like going through it the first time or something, like a pseudo dictator. But yeah, I digress.
We can go back to pretending it's not happening.
It's not possible. Yeah, we're in it. We're fully in it.
But well, so then motif wise, okay, tell me a little bit. I mean, obviously portraiture is is a very specific kind of way of working. I think that
it's really tricky.
Yeah. Have you seen well, now we're going back. Did you see the Prince Charles portrait with the red, the entirely red background?
I don't know if I have.
Oh, it's a crazy one. It just looks very, very dark.
Ominous,
yeah, dark. Totally. And he's got a little monarch on his shoulder.
I mean, all portraiture is like there's a class in there. And so I think either you're dealing with the class, you're not dealing with the class, or you're like, yeah, you're fighting. What do you mean the class?
Like class system?
Yeah, totally. Because you know, it's just like where the history of like where portraiture, like what is portraiture essentially, is just like if you go back to like ancient monarchy, or like, you know, monarchies, and then you even go back further to like ancient Egypt or something like that. It's just like, okay, like who is getting their portrait, you know, their likeness portrayed over and over again, and why, you know, why is that relevant or something like that. So like the roots of it are just, you know, one is should be aware of it's not neutral. It's very tricky territory to kind of navigate. And it's something that I think a lot about in terms of like choosing which images I want to work with and how, and, you know, just constantly like, yeah, just being aware of like, sometimes something will slip through my fingers and I'll be like, well, I can't, you know.
What do you mean slip through your fingers?
Like, I think there's like a certain canon of beauty that is just
like big girls.
Yeah, totally curves. Luckily I'm just like from here to here, so I haven't, you know, I just want to like get that little, you know, extend the cropping on that a little bit. But yeah, I think even, yeah, it just like instantly, like when you see somebody's face, you just analyze it before you even think about it. And you're just, your brain makes all these different data points. And so I try to be aware of that again with the images that I'm using. And sometimes it tends to fall within like a more general like canon of beauty, I guess. And I'm definitely aware of it, but it's also just a category that I'm interested in.
How are you sourcing images? Are you photographing people?
I'm not. I'd rather like I'd rather source images the way that I like naturally just come across them.
So just off the internet?
Yeah, just off the internet, and just like en masse too. So it's like when I'm like trying to find images to work with, they're all from like a photographic base. I haven't gone like full AI yet.
Oh, okay. Wait, I thought you meant photographic base makes a lot more sense after you said the AI thing. I was like,
okay. Yeah, totally. Yeah. And all photographs are not alike in nature. Like the lens is like its own medium that distorts proportions, and like, so usually I have to like type in a bunch of different prompts and like narrow it down and look for something very specific. But like, I'll kind of just binge images and then pull a whole swath and then take them into the studio and see like what's going to work, what's not going to work.
So your search, like what are your search criteria? Like when you said prompt, which is like AI, but I guess you mean like search.
From like, I'm millennial. I'm all Google.
No. It's all good. It's all good. I'm actually curious. Like what is the search criteria? Like what are you looking for? Woman looking down? Is that kind of the thing?
Stuff like that. Like it's kind of its own like impromptu kind of journey, like as I'm going through it, because then I'll kind of like, so like I'll start with like black and white photography with like Rembrandt lighting or something like that, which is like there's like really harsh like lights and darks with that.
And that little triangle of light.
Yeah. Oh my God. I love that triangle. That triangle's everything.
You just contours. Gave me your O face.
Yeah. Holy shit. Yeah. That's really good. So yeah, I am searking for that for sure.
Okay. All right. And you're also a fan of Rembrandt, I gather.
Yeah. Enough. You know, he's a crazy guy.
You don't like his politics?
Oh no, I
don't even know what they are.
Yeah, I'm not even familiar, but no, I like how like, you know, like crazy he was. But yeah, so it'll be a certain type of photography. Maybe I'll search for film. I guess sometimes like I'll search for models. So there's like an emotive like word that I'll have to throw in there, is like sorrow or like anger or something like that. And so, yeah, it'll just be this like ongoing.
How long is one of these sessions? Is this shadow work or shadow practice?
That, I think that falls into the regular.
That falls into the regular practice?
Yeah, because that doesn't really, that's like part of generating the painting, I guess.
Okay, all right.
But I think maybe like 30 minutes. It could be like around 45, but usually I'll gather enough.
So not as long as an Epstein files search session while you're
Oh
looking.
my God. No, I have all that stuff. I'll show you some podcasts later.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. No, I just get that spoon fed to me.
Everybody's trading
via
podcasts.
Yeah.
Do you know Ryan Dawson?
I don't.
Okay, he's been at it for a while. He's one of the few people that's like, they're not eating babies. I'm like, I'm not so sure, but I'll listen to you.
Yeah, totally. No,
I need you to ground me.
One of my coworkers put me onto an AI native podcast for the Epstein files. So it's all AI, which is just like another level of just like it's just it's crazy. Yeah. But honestly, the podcast is nothing like insane. It's just like literally going through like the files that have been released and stuff like that. But just the concept of like an AI native Epstein file podcast is just like, okay, dude, like we are right here in this place and time.
There's two kinds of people right now. There's the people that can't wait to finish this podcast so that they can start talking about Epstein.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah. And the people are just like, the people that are like, I
don't want to know.
Yeah.
We're like, oh shit, we got to get through this.
Yeah,
so we can trade stories. But tell me a little bit more about like what your objective is. Like what is it? What you're trying to achieve with the paintings, the stylization. Talk to me a little bit more about that.
I mean, the path is. It's one step at a time. I have never been a painter, and I think there are very few that are like this, or it depends on the practice, where they can have a goal and they can set a course and they can like chart the course for where the work is going to go, or what they want. In my practice, if I set a goal or if I set like a mile marker, I immediately want to rally against it. Yeah. Like for some reason, I'm just like, I'm going to go in the opposite direction now. I'm just like, why am I so stubborn like that? So I really just try to take it one painting at a time. And a lot of the time I'm the type of a painter, I'd rather make like 20 paintings and then sit back and be like, okay, what's working, what's not working, put those to the side or unstretch those, throw those out, keep these 3. And then continue on. Let's make another 20. Yeah. You know, so I work really quickly and I try to just let the work.
But then what is it that makes the cut? Like, what is it that gets you it? Because portraiture it's almost like we're talking a little bit about photography in a weird way, even though you can, it's like, it's figurative painting that's not necessarily narrative. Does that make sense?
Totally. Yeah. I think.
So then what is the intangibility? What is that thing that you're chasing? If it's not narrative, obviously.
Yeah.
What is it that you're going after?
The closest that I can think of how to describe that.
Yeah. It's elusive.
That ness, is, because I'm already starting with somebody's likeness. And that likeness is like, there's a photograph of them that exists, and it exists for a reason. It exists usually because there's like an editorial campaign or like some type of advertisement campaign, or maybe it's even if it's within the realm of art or just documenting or something like that. I am starting at that point. And so as I work with the person's likeness, I really try to do various things that walk it away from that original like point of departure and open it back up. And I try to use the portrait as like a way to like abstract all of those things, either through like color or composition, just like recropping or something like that. So all of my portraits, or like I'll use negatives a lot, which is like a really fun, easy way just to be like, bam, like, okay, like my face is like, I'm reading this as a face, but like all the colors are completely inverted and something's really off, and it puts it in a totally like other zone that's not like whimsical or mythical per se, but it's like your brain has to do that extra step. It's like a Bosselets or something like that, but like turning
Bosselets?
Yeah, turning the figure upside down, like painting a figure upside down or something. Like immediately you just can't see it right side up. So you're just like, okay, like what is my relationship to this like figure now? Like to this like this body, how does it make me think about my own body? So I think a lot of my work in the studio.
That was just an example though for people listening.
Oh,
you don't paint people upside down.
No,
Okay.
But I think it's like a maneuver. I think in my studio, like in my practice, there are like various different maneuvers that I'll use to just try to, and I think of it as like an emptying out. There's like the portrait is like a vessel and it comes full with all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, through all these different formal things, I'm just constantly trying to like empty it. And so the work that I find that is the most successful is the work that feels impactful, but is a vessel that's ready for the viewer to create their own story in their head. And I think the most successful work, or the work that I think is the most fun, is when people go to a show or they'll see the work in person and they'll develop a whole narrative about it. They're like, oh my God, this looks like my mom when she was in the 80s. I have this picture of her and it looks just like this. And they have like a crazy strong emotional connection to it. Or yeah, they'll just have like all of these different, they'll fill in all of those blanks the way that they want to. And I think it's really important to create that space and create those gaps in that like room for somebody to be involved in the work in a way that's not like so hermetically sealed of like, okay, this is like exactly what this person looks like. And it's so rendered and it like the paint is so glossy and the varnish is perfect. You know, that technical.
Do you use varnish?
I do not. No.
Oh, okay.
That technical side of it is like, for me, is like, I'm just trying to get to that zone of like having the work be ready for like a viewer to fill in all those gaps.
Tell me a little bit more about the beauty standards, and because that seems like, especially if you're taking images off of the internet, well, like what draws you to a face? What is it that that makes a face kind of stand out? I mean, we've talked about like why you pick the images and how you pick the images, but like, I guess one way of saying is, do you remember the movie Delicatessen?
I haven't watched it.
You haven't watched it? Okay. It's basically a movie that's it's like French. So like all the people in it are not unattractive, but they're just a little weird looking.
Cool. Yeah.
Is that it's not that. It's so, but then you're dealing with beauty standards. So
yeah.
How do you find that balance? That's an interesting thing. I mean, I've only recently started to get into this, into content of like that whole algorithm about beauty. I didn't know how much plastic surgery people were having.
Oh, yeah.
And I didn't
Welcome
know.
to...
Well, then I started watching this, I forget her name, I can't shout her out, but I started watching this content creator that does like really interesting analysis of this stuff.
Yeah, totally.
And like, so that shit is out of my reality. So talk to me like I'm a dummy about this. And about the women's, or beauty standards. Cause I don't think guys dwell on beauty standards because they're not necessarily pointed at us. Like we have insecurities, but I'll put it to you this way. I saw a clip of a woman, you know, that show where like the hot takes on the subway, she goes, being bald is a choice. And I was like, I never thought of that. That like you can do all these surgeries, you can do all these things.
You can do anything you want. You can break your legs and become 10 inches taller.
I know, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
It's crazy. Turkey is amazing. Yeah, for
I've heard about Turkey and their hair transplants.
Their spas, it's just for everything.
But it's just like basically what this woman at Lille something. What she says is that like now like in the 90s people looked kind of different. Now everybody has the money to like look like homogenous and stuff like that. So these are all things that I'm interested in from a different perspective, but like please expand.
Well, I mean, I always like to think of the distinction too as just like we think this is the world, but then also like go to the UK and watch the news. Yeah. It's like go to the UK and watch like the Weather Woman on
Have you ever lived abroad?
I have not, but I've been lucky enough to travel a little bit. And so there are these like moments of like, whoa, this is not, they have wrinkles. Like how refreshing, like Swedish, newscaster, like on the mainstream, like super popular shows, like Girl with a Dragon Tattoo or something like that, is like all those people look real.
They used to look more real.
Also go to like, you know, like watch a Puerto Rican, you know, like weather woman. You'll be like, holy shit, dude. Like that's the most beautiful woman I've ever seen in my, you know, it's like, you know, each country has their own, like what they dictate. I guess you know, obviously as a woman, you know, you feel pressure, like, you know, you live in certain societies and stuff like that, especially here in Los Angeles. Holy cow. Like,
yeah,
always, I've never really, put my self-worth on how I look per se. And if anything, I really rallied against it early days. But yeah, we are in a culture here definitely of like looks, there's a lot of value put on them. I think within my work, I just am inherently aware of these things, but
it's more of an intuitive thing for you.
It's definitely intuitive.
It's like what makes you cringe when you see, yeah.
Oh, I'm also the biggest proponent of like maxing out your lips. Like I don't care. Like I'm here for all of it.
So do you get work done?
I have not yet. Okay. I'm not opposed. Yet? I'm not opposed to it, but like I also am just like I do believe in body mod. Like I do have a lot of tattoos and I would love to get more.
I'm old school on plastic surgery the way my parents were on tattoos.
Okay, gotcha.
You know, like not that I judge people that do it. It just seems like, well, one of the things that this woman talks about is the fact that these people are getting plastic surgery, but then the trends change. Okay. And what's attractive changes.
Well, you can get things dissolved. You could always move with it. Yeah. I mean, I've like, if anything,
I'm not bashing it.
I feel like the procedures have been going on forever. But like early Botox, like in the 80s now versus like then versus now is like like maybe there's some things if you went a little too hard you can't you can't reverse, but yeah, it's getting pretty dialed in. It's like, oh, you want this lifted up like a quarter of an inch or you know whatever. You do whatever you want now. It seems like sky's the limit. And it seems like the future's only going to get better for that. So yeah, I don't
so you see it as a positive? I don't know how to feel about it.
Oh, okay.
I'm ambivalent.
I am a big proponent of self-expression in all ways. And I have a predilection for body modification. I would put it in that category as opposed to like beauty enhancement surgery. But I'm also personally very stingy. So I'm not trying to
spend much
money on it because I think like Botox only lasts like 6 months. So you have to keep getting it over and over again. I'm just like,
this is not a value judgment. This is just like a sort of like, I didn't know.
Oh yeah, totally.
You know?
Yeah.
I don't like, I mean, I would never be like, oh, you got a nose job, I'm not going to date you.
Guys can't even freaking tell wigs. So half the time I'm like,
are you wearing a wig?
I could be. I'll pull it off. We'll do a little tug test later. Yeah.
I'm not that bad. But anyway, it's an interesting thing that I have like been it's been outside of my radar entirely. And then plus with the whole Epstein thing, you're like, maybe it's good to not be born beautiful.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many, that's a whole can of worms.
That whole industry is like,
I think this is interesting, the whole Epstein thing, at least for me. And I think a lot of, I would venture to say a lot of women, is for guys, it's a big aha moment. And for women, we're like, we knew all this. We knew all of, not the Epstein version of it, but the culture of it. Yeah,
but a lot of ladies were coming down hard on the QAnon people too.
Myself included. Yeah, it sounds crazy.
So it is a little bit of like wait, I thought this wasn't a thing, and then like wait.
There's a little bit of
they really like pizza.
Oh my God, it's so weird.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
But I think that also speaks to the algorithmic side of it. You know, like I think I until I started watching that Leo's content, I was like completely fucking oblivious to what what women get fed. So it's like, it's one of the concepts that I find is interesting from the whole Epstein thing, as I dive deeper into this stuff, is the idea that human nature is programmability, that like And I had never heard that until recently, and I had never thought of that. But that explains my Catholic guilt, even though I have not been a believer in a long time, and so many different things. You know, people are really affected by trauma and shit like that. You know?
My God. Yeah. Intergenerational, that stuff imprints.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so anyway, so just in the broader sense, like I was definitely like, I was like, because I've also met creeps. So I wasn't that surprised.
Yeah, they're obvious. Yeah, but, sometimes. Yeah. But
so yeah, no, anyway, that's an interesting thing to have to tackle. That's something that, you know, like as you were talking, I thought it was interesting, the idea, like, because I feel like the camera made portraiture accessible to a lower class, right? I don't know how accurate this is. This is just speculative thoughts, but like it makes sense that like click versus like paint is a lot more labor and a lot.
I think we are, technology, the technology of it all, and how it both like subverts class, or it gives power, but I think it's like a pseudo power, essentially. Because it like universalizes some things, but I guess insidiously enough, power still remains within.
You still point at places. You still get to. There's still that element of it. I think it doesn't capture everything.
When I was in undergrad, I did this little like one-off show in like a project space about. I was just like obsessed with like selfie culture, and just like conflate, like for me in my mind, like, you know, like I just drew like a direct line between like the Egyptian canon of like pharaohs to like a selfie. And I was just like, oh, it's just like the proliferation of like one's image. And it's like, oh, we went from like pharaohs, like hiring these like master craftsmen to like proliferate their image, or like an idealized version of them or something like that. But now it's like, oh, everyone like literally has a camera, and there's like MySpace and Facebook and, you know, social media and all these things where you're like, you are in charge and can proliferate like your own image.
Yeah.
And like something for me, like that to me was just like, at that time was just like, wow, like I was just like really into that. And what it meant for portraiture, and what it meant for like self-fashioning, and how one moves through the world. Yeah. I think there's a huge, like, you know, like being interested in portraiture, there's so many different routes. And I think one of those routes is just, the like, how you're putting yourself out there, and like the self-fashioning of it.
Here's a question. Do thirst traps count as portraits?
1,000%.
Okay.
1,000%. Yeah. Do
you have any more thoughts on that? So you're not a hierarchical elitist in terms of what constitutes actual art, quote unquote.
I don't think so. No. And I think
have you ever worked off of one of those? Like, I mean, thirst trap. I guess like thirst trap. I'm excluding burfies, because
what are burfies?
Burfies are like the ones where you take a picture and your butt is in it.
Oh, okay. That's funny.
It's probably an outdated term.
Yeah. That's dope though. It's like learn something new.
Or belfies. I forget what it was.
I don't bring those. I enjoy those personally. But I don't bring them into the studio just from like it's hard to
empty them.
Well, it's hard to actually get the proportions like accurate in that case. Like again, like the lens is its own medium. So a lot of the times when I'm working with an image, like I can rule out like 90% of images just because there's some type of lens distortion happening.
So like wide angle.
Because ultimately, or like even like if you take a picture from this perspective, like your forehead's going to be bigger, and like I want the painting to be a painting. I don't want it to have this like weird lens distortion within a painting. And I think some
straight lines bent.
Yeah, totally. I think some painters really lean into that, and I think it's cool. But for me, it's like, again, I just want it. I just don't want that read immediately. I just want the materiality to like, and color and some other formal elements to be like at the forefront. Yeah.
Interesting. Well, like, what would you see yourself career wise, what are your ambitions? There are artists that are happy to be in art collectives and have a day job and continue that way. Are you looking to be more in that realm, or are you trying to be more commercially successful? Like, what are your ambitions in this? Because you did mention that you were what was it, entrepreneurial, when you were selling the $1 drawings?
Oh my gosh, I definitely am, and I think that comes from like my dad is a small business owner, so I think.
What kind of business? Selling nukes to.
I know. Honestly, I wouldn't be chilling here if that was the case.
You would be much wealthier.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he would, and inherently, that would trickle down or something. But no, he is a contractor and does like HVAC units and like
honest work.
Yeah, mold remediation, things like that. Yeah. So yeah, it's like I grew up like in New Jersey. My dad's a contractor. I grew up like in a warehouse. He like,
not Italian though. For anybody getting ideas.
Not Italian, interestingly enough. He's just that. Yeah, it's just I think there are only a few chosen paths for people in New Jersey, and he picked that one.
Miami's the same way.
Yeah.
Which is why I left, because I didn't fit import export.
Oh, okay.
Or real estate.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, totally. I forget. I laughed at my own joke too hard.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I forget. Like ambitions and things like that. Yeah. I think honestly, I think the sky's the limit. I think at one, if I'm being completely honest, I'm sure. Like I want to be as ambitious as possible and not limit myself. To like the potential of working with like an amazing gallery at some point and like being represented and just being on that track. I think it's so hard though. There's so much work that goes into it. And it's not just being a great painter. I think you need to be like an amazing business person, and I think you need to just like it's like a painter on steroids. You just need to work every second of your life, if that is your ambition. And so there's a part of me that's like down and like that seems really fun and that seems like an amazing life. But then there's a part of me that's like, I think like a fulfilling life can happen. Like I already have like a really sweet setup right now.
You just got engaged, no?
Yeah. I did. So I think right now in this moment I'm a little bit more.
Congratulations! I shouldn't just say it.
Thank you so much.
I think I met you through Dina Novak. That's the first time we met, and you were like super excited. I was
we were T-minus like a little bit more than a month toward the wedding. So I'm on.
I have a friend that's about to have a kid, and I'm like, damn, I'm doing nothing.
No, not at all. No, honestly, everything is valid.
I'm kidding.
But it does take time and space to like, like have life happen too. And so I think I've been lucky to kind of like have little glimpses into all of the different possibilities for art. Like when I was in New York, I was super community based. When I came here, I had a little pop commercially that was like really dope and super fun. Now I'm kind of more like family is kind of taking center stage, and preparing for like all of like.
How long have you been planning the wedding?
We got engaged last February, and I've been with my partner for a little longer than 3 years now. And so, yeah, it's just it's an amazing, wonderful thing that's happened.
One of my favorite content creators is Charlotte Dobre, and she does Bridezilla content. Oh my
god! Well, luckily, I'm not even. Again,
I'm not saying you're a Bridezilla.
I'm not even rich enough to be a Bridezilla, to be honest. Like, it's not even.
But it's just funny. It's funny. I guess the why I bring it up is funny. The things of girl culture that permeate into my reality that I like. That
is funny.
That I'm like. Hey, I fuck with this.
Yeah, totally. Is that what you like? Yeah, in terms of what you were watching earlier.
Yeah, that's literally what I was. I was watching her, and
honestly, I've been down there. I've been down Bridezilla Road. Also, oh my god, I'm gonna blank on the name. My Big Fat Gypsy Wedding.
Oh no, I don't know.
If you ever want to go down a TLC rabbit hole with that, I think gypsy culture is just like it's like Dolly Parton like to the 10th degree. It's amazing.
Well, my algorithm right now is all like it's kind of like boy shit. It's all like Epstein, like conspiracy. It's all esoteric shit.
Nice.
It's all like pre-Christian Gnosticism.
Oh wow, cool.
Or you know, and all of that stuff. So then I need a break.
Oh, you swing the other way. It's just as extreme.
And so like today, what I was watching, the first story was I cheated on my husband on my wedding, and like that.
Oh my!
I'm like waiting to hear how the rest of that story goes. So she just reads Reddit stories and stuff. It's
my god, that's dope.
It's not only shaming bridezillas. Sometimes it's like, am I a bridezilla? And you're like, no, they fucking assholes.
Yeah, totally. It's like you're like trust your instincts. Like something's wrong. Yeah. Yeah.
But it's funny to have it's funny to touch another person's algorithm, you know, and then get a sense of it, because honestly, until I saw that Lil woman, I had no idea. Like I kind of had this concept of these young women that like, you know, like Millie Bobby Brown and all of them, like going through changes and stuff. And I was like, oh, I thought she got more attractive because she was older. And it apparently she's gotten surgery. So, you know, like, totally. Yep, and I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. And then
somebody grew into their features.
Yeah, I thought that's what I was like. Yeah, you don't look like a little kid anymore. It's like, nope.
yeah, totally. No, I think it's honestly, if you have the means and you want it, like, and it's like, I always encourage people to be healthy, you know, with their choices. I think there's, but then I think be extreme with it, you know.
Megan Fox does not look better than when she was younger, though.
That woman grew up in a pretty crazy industry.
Oh no. Totally. I'm not judging her. I guess, but then that's kind of like not a healthy, or I mean that's kind of condescending. But I feel pity, you know, in situations.
She's doing fine. She's doing great. Yeah.
But also like, I don't know. I just feel bad for having to think about your appearance so much, you know, and like even my siblings,
just being in Hollywood and stuff,
and not even that, just even my siblings are like, no, I get Botox because I have to look young to compete in the market. I'm like, Jesus Christ, dude.
Yeah, no, 1,000%. Yeah, that's a tale as old as time.
Yeah,
there, you know, it's crazy. The whole industry of looking good and, you know, being within the canon or within the homogeny, you know, there's an extreme amount of pressure, but I always like it when people put their own spin on it, you know what I mean? Even if it's like a little extra.
Put their own spin on what?
Just, you know, maybe they look good, but like they do something a little alternative and a little different and a little like edgier.
Like put horns?
Yes. I love microdermal piercings.
What generation? You Gen Z or Gen?
I'm millennial.
You're millennial. So you're like a young millennial though, right?
I guess so. Yeah. I don't know. It's like, it starts to get squishy on the ends, but I'm going to turn 34. So,
okay. In the 2000s, there was a very controversial show called The Swan.
Oh, yeah.
Have you?
Oh, they break bones in that show. That was the same era. There was The Biggest Loser. Yeah. There was The Swan.
All those people got crazy fat, too, afterwards. The Biggest Loser. It was like all of this shit is... crazy. So I grew up where that was a shocker, but I think I was old when that happened, and for you were much younger. You're like 10 years younger than me.
You know, it was ironic because like I remember watching those shows with my family, but it was like we would be like huddled in the kitchen like at dinner time, and so we'd be like eating bowls of ice cream watching these shows about people being like, oh, like I need to change everything in my life, you know. So it's just like weird cognitive disconnect that happens, like the reality TV of it all, And
I'm not saying things were better back then, because I have watched videos of them sexualizing Britney Spears on TV. Did you see that stuff? Where Ed McMahon was like, "Oh, do you have a boyfriend? How about me?" I'm like, "Oh shit!"
God, leave her alone.
And the girl is not wearing anything sexual. She's wearing like a little girl dress, and they're like, her sexuality. So it's. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just saying that's the programming that I grew up with. So it's a little unsettling, but.
Yeah, totally. But I could definitely, Again, it's like,
especially because I didn't know about the extent to which it was happening, you know?
I think it's like a nice little, like, I hope, one would hope, that it's maybe like a little bit of a wake up call, and maybe there's like a little bit more empathy, or at least like what you're saying is like self-reflection. And again, it's not anything that you're consciously thinking about, but like definitely subconsciously, we've all been trained.
The Epstein files have made me feel like a great person.
Oh yeah, totally. You're like, I'm good. Like I respect
all that
women.
Guilt,
yeah.
Fuck off.
Yeah, totally. You're like,
I've just been programmed to feel that way. I don't actually have anything wrong with me because,
oh god,
that is like, it's been such a weight off of my guilty shoulders. All of that Catholic, like you were born a sinner. All that shit. Totally. It's like, oh my god, dude.
It's interesting when you make something taboo as well. Yeah. And then immediately you just like a whole festering thing starts to develop. And the human psychology is crazy,
dude. I the last few years have just been like, what have I been thinking the world is? I'm so fucking naive. Yeah,
totally. Well, again, I think I have a hunch, and I'm just speaking like, I know it to be true for myself, but yeah, I have a hunch after talking to a lot of my male coworkers and colleagues and people about this is, again, like, I'm not surprised.
No, I know.
It's a surprise to me, which is
men,
which is absolutely horrifying, which is like truly like a sadness and an illness in and of itself. But yeah.
No, and it's like, it's also like the guys that don't do this shit, just being like, kind of like, oh, everybody lives by the golden rule, and then just like, no.
God, no. I think absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Yeah.
It's just something, that's another thing that I'm just literally goes around in my head multiple times a day. I'm just like, yep.
Yeah.
I don't want to seem apathetic at all, but yeah, it just does not. That's the golden rule, if any.
You've definitely not come off as apathetic today.
Okay, I hope not. I think sometimes I chat with people, especially my partners, like really triggered by a lot of it and stuff like that. But
about the Epstein stuff?
Mm-hmm, totally, yeah.
Oh my God. I'm sorry for people that because it is a lot. I just have a dark soul, so I can handle it.
Totally, yeah. I grew up on Forensic Files twice a day. So
yeah, no, the ladies are definitely on to this shit.
Yeah, all the true crime that we've been
They're
binging.
the ones that got me on true crime. I remember the first time I started listening to like true crime, I was like, oh, this is really intense, and then I got hooked.
No, you're just like, oh, I need this to go to sleep.
Yeah. I needed to get through one of these drawings.
Oh yeah. 1,000%. I got some good recos for you then.
All right, cool. Well, is there anything I haven't asked you about? I mean, we could do a whole hour on Epstein if you want.
I know. Yeah.
But anything about your practice, anything art podcast related that I haven't touched on?
I think we covered all the juicy spots. I like how much of the current studio practice that we talked about.
Cool.
I think it was like, it was really cool to just like give a little bit insight into like, how I developed the
wasn't
paintings.
asking for a review of my interviewing.
Oh, okay. Well,
I just want to make sure that you get to
I have to walk through it to make sure. I'm like, okay. Because, it's like a job interview or something like that where you're like, you walk away and you're like, darn, I really wish I could have done this one thing. No, but I think we talked about the perfect, intersection between life and practice.
Awesome.
And all relevant topics.
Cool. So you're happy.
Totally. Yeah.
All right. And then anything that we can promote for you?
I currently, in terms of like shadow practice, my one friend from, I have multiple friends in New York, but my one good friend, Nicholas Cueva, wanted to put one of my quilts in a show recently. So that's going to be on view in March in Brooklyn at Sweet Lorraine Gallery. And so I'm very thankful that he's kind of triumphed this secret little body of work that I've had going. I think if anyone knows me really well, they know that I do this, but for the most part, nobody knows that I do that.
Do you not post it very often? Because I did recently see it.
I did. It was for the show. Yeah. So
that's the first time you've ever shown it?
I think this is like literally the first time I have a quilt in an actual gallery in a show. And I really do. I love the concept behind the show and I love the other artists that I'm showing with. So like, I think it's a really strong presentation and curatorial take. And I love any and every time I see like a textile involved in a show. So I'm just happy to show like a different side of my practice. Yeah.
Well, congratulations on that.
Thank you.
If you guys enjoyed this episode, like, subscribe, comment, but most importantly, share it with people. Because the more we share and the more we do all of those algorithmic massages, the more people will get access to these artists that I have on, and the bigger I become, which helps me too. If you'd like to help us out even more, we got the Patreon. $5 a month gets you early access episodes and your name, along with Tony Irons, M. Trishkovsky, Nicolo, Amir Zaki, Hiroshi Clark, Jackie Castillo, and Ryan. Thank you to those guys for supporting the show. $5 a month gets you access to everything. And I forgot something, but I'll remember it after we stop recording. We'll be back next week with another guest and another topic that may or may not be art related. Thank you so much.
Thank you.